Today is going to be another one of those videos where I basically just go over every notable thing that's happened in the past day or two. And first of all, I want to talk about the two major progress videos that got published today. And the first one is 36 to 100 on Escalator. This was done by Terra, who is the #1 player in Kazakhstan. And as you can see, Terra has been playing this level for months at this point. And over a year ago, Terra was already set as the original verifier. For a quick history on this level, basically, it's kind of like Society. It's more like the prequel to Society in a way. Basically, this level was made before Society, but Society's been verified first, so technically Society's the first level, but also this one is really the original one. And this is just super impressive to see considering the difficulty of it. Throughout this level's existence, it has really kind of changed its difficulty quite a lot, but the current version seems to comfortably be top 10. A lot of people that have played it that are good at the game have said it's around Nullscape's difficulty. This was kind of bordering between being around Tidal Wave difficulty, but now opinions, I'm pretty sure, say it's top 10, and we can tell that because in the thumbnails, or more the titles for these videos, it is listed as a top 10 now. And yeah, I can't wait to see this thing get verified. It looks like Terra's really closing in on getting this done. I think I like Society more because it's just more colorful, it pops more, it's more interesting to look at. But this one still really is cool to see. It is a bit dull in the coloring, but it does have these random spots where it does just spike a lot in interest. There's a lot of really cool designs, and in a way the grayscale decoration does work for what this level's going for. And the next major progress video I want to talk about is from Doobs. Now, we already know Doobs is the verifier of Silent Circles, and we already covered him just about a week ago, where he got 26 to 86 on a new top 5 version of the level. I say new, but it's more just the level's been slightly altered in difficulty a lot since Doobs has picked it up. But if we go over to his live, we can see that yesterday he was streaming and he got 62%, which is a new best. Now, I do really wish that I could say that we are maybe seeing this get verified soon. However, I don't know how true that is because Doobs is constantly buffing or altering this level, and it means that this is taking a bit longer than I think we would have expected. I definitely think he's more motivated now, and by the sound of things, it looks like he's gonna be sticking to this version. But yeah, with that progress, it shouldn't take too long if there's not many more changes. This level is super cool to see, by far the best Silent Circles remake in my opinion, and I think most people would agree with that. It stays the most faithful to the original level, while just popping in colors. The designs are really cool. It's also its own thing as well. Like, even though it stays true to the original level, it tries its own things out as well, but it just doesn't feel like it's distancing itself like Dolphy's version. It's just really cool, and I can't wait to see it verified. For the next thing I want to talk about, we are going to actually enter GD Browser here. And if we look at the most popular Insane Demons, you will see that Crazy Free is currently the second most downloaded Insane Demon in the game, with nearly 1 million likes, right? This is super popular, and we already talked about it because we already know that DaftJT is making Crazy 4, the sequel. But we are covering this because a secret way was discovered in Crazy Free. I don't know how this wasn't found until now, considering how impactful and huge this level is. But yes, there is a secret way at 27% that literally grants you just the completion to 100. You don't have to do anything extra. There's no, oh, you have to loop around to this part and that's it, right? No, it is just straight up, you fall at 27 and then you beat the level. That is actually crazy. This post does say go play Crazy Free right now before it's patched, but I'm pretty sure now it is patched. From what I've heard, I believe that Crazy Free had this issue post 2.2. Basically, the newest version of the level had this bug, but I do not know if that is true. That is just like word of mouth thing I've heard, so don't take me up on that. Just know that there is a secret way in Crazy Free that I believe is patched now. But just the fact that this existed in the first place, what? Like, what? How did we not find out about this? Moving on to some other stuff, we have Abdul 9531, who you probably don't know about because they are a very underrated player, but we're going to be covering them because, as you can see, 3 days ago, they achieved 75% on base after base. However, just yesterday, they became one of the few victors of base after base, being the first person in Canada. If you don't know what this level is, it's basically a very dual-focused level. It's made by Akuna-kun and others, and you can see that it's just a very quirky level, only really using the dual game mode, but trying a bunch of unique things. And this was unrated for quite a while. It was probably my and a lot of other people's most wanted level to get rated, and then it did, and it got placed, and then ever since then, we have seen a few victors, but really, we haven't really seen many people beat this level, which is kind of surprising considering how cool it is, but then also kind of not, because I mean, just look at the gameplay. You can tell why some people are probably a bit scared to touch this. Abdul did this after over 40,000 attempts, and is also the 4th victor of the level. And if you don't count the verifier as a victor, and you just count that as a separate title, then we can see that Abdul is going to be the first North American victor of the level. But we're not quite done with the demon list just yet, because if we scroll down all the way to the 115th spot, we can see that Atomic Cannon Mach 3 is there. And if you haven't been keeping up with the demon list recently, you might be a bit confused, because you probably remember a different level being there. You might remember Rock Bottom being there, which Connix recently beat. However, if we scroll down, we can see that it is actually now all the way down at 143. It went from a mid-range extended list level to nearly being out of Legacy, and I believe if you go on to the pending changes, this does have a Legacy date on it, meaning we know when this will be placed at Legacy at least. That is dozens of spots lowered. I haven't seen a level get nuked like this in so long. However, I think this is a pretty understandable lowering. I've seen many people call this level overrated. I've played it a bit and think it's overrated, and Connix did take quite a quick amount of time to beat it. That is not dissing Connix's skill at all. I think that beating a level at 143 in that short of time, no matter how skilled you are, is super impressive, right? But I think when you compare other levels that he's beaten that are easier than this, and you compare the time he took to beat Rock Bottom, it seemed that it was probably overrated a bit. But yeah, I wanted to cover that because that is an incredible lowering. That isn't just a random 2-spot lowering, that is just, that is absolutely demolishing it. And then also, we saw another level get placed recently, Doppler. This was pending for a bit, and it's the 89th hardest level in the game now. Another 2-player one, but this happened a bit ago now. I think it was like 3 days ago or 2 days ago, so I won't cover it here in too much detail. We also saw Viwi post a video an hour ago called Unbeatable World Record, Superbuffed Rare 79 to 100. Now, I am no expert on this level. I don't really know too much about the original Rare other than what it looked like, but I am able to kind of put into perspective how difficult doing this run is, because looking at it on screen, it doesn't look that bad. But Viwi left a description here that I'm gonna read. 80 to 100 took me 2 sessions, whereas 79 to 100 took me almost an entire year. That's because the wave grants carpal tunnel at alarming rates, and the 80% 480 frame perfect depends on the last wave's release. In other words, at peak consistency, for every attempt you make it to the straight fly from 79%, odds are you would have made it there over 100 times from 80%. Of course, this matters even more when nothing gets consistent, no matter who you are. I don't have much more to say here, but I felt like giving this a shout out, giving a little promotion to this video, because just reading that description is kind of insane, and you know, it's a world record on a impossible level, so I kind of needed to show it. We also saw Vernam stepping down as CherryTeam Supreme Leader position after 8 years. CherryTeam obviously being by far the biggest kind of creating team in the game. Used to be AP team, but now ever since I would say Cosmos got verified, I would class CherryTeam as the biggest, and they've been running it ever since. They've been steamrolling through releasing levels. I'm currently actually playing Waterfall myself right now, but yeah, Vernam stepped down, leader, very notable person in the community. The new leader is now Gurkis. I felt like I needed to cover this because this is the biggest creating team, and this is a very impactful position that is being taken up by a new person now, so I felt like I should probably put this in the video. And lastly, Moai is the new event level in the game. This got released recently. I was correct, it is focused around Moais. But yeah, this level is pretty interesting to look at. It has very similar vibes to the last event level we had, but it takes a very different approach, and obviously it is a completely different theme. Personally, I'm not too big of a fan on the gameplay. I don't know what this is rated currently on the normal level tab, but when this got rated, it was a 9-star. Don't know if it still is, but I feel like this should be Demon. I think this should be easy Demon, but maybe I'm just bad at the game and I can't sight read. But yeah, this is the new level. I think it looks pretty cool again. It just feels really similar to the last one we had. I don't really have too much problems with this level other than feeling like it's easy Demon, but I would check this out because it is super cool and it's our new event level, so yeah, go play it. And that is it for today's video. Hope you learned something new here and you haven't already heard of everything I mentioned here. But yeah, not much more to say. Thanks for watching and peace.